Hello and welcome to FPL Onside with me, Darren. Let's talk about chips, baby, and rules. Apparently, I don't want to touch too much on the rules changes. Everyone's read them; they've been done to death. We're getting price reveals. That's beautiful, but let's be fair. I'm not doing a pod on price reveals. No one will watch it. People have already covered it. Much larger accounts would have already done it to death. There's no point. But I do want to talk about chip strategy because I think opinions are great. We've all got one, like ourselves. But people are going to do chip strategy pods. But the point is they're all different. I think that's the point. And so I wanted to get mine across, what I'm thinking, the best times to use it, give you guys, we don't tell you what to do on this podcast. We never have. We never did when we were the Man On podcast. But we want to be able to give you ideas and thoughts and different opinions. We don't tell you what to do. You make your own mind up. So that's what we're talking about today. We are going to touch very briefly on the changes, what I think about them, whether they're good or bad. You can pretty much tell from the green ticks, the red crosses, or the guy who just doesn't know. More assists. Nothing can be wrong with more assists. I hate the word none. It's very frustrating. So I think more assist is what it is, isn't it? People run into the byline, cutting back, small deflection off defender, still finds a striker. It's a goal. At the end of the day, it is an assist. So I'm happy with more assists. Defensive contributions, yeah, I think that means we've seen the players that potentially would have benefited from more defensive contributions last season. They don't come from the big teams. So bar Van Dijk, I think, really, and Guardiola off the top of my head. So for me, it's going to mean picking people that you possibly wouldn't normally pick, I think. And also that goes with midfielders as well. CDMs are a little bit more private, but does that mean that CDMs will cost more this season because they are going to get more points? That's the other, would a 5.5 CDM now be 6 or 6.5? That would put me off picking them, like for potentially 30 extra points a season. Let's be an average. I think James Tarkowski was 44 points as a defender. So let's say the average for a CDM will be around 30 points. Do I want to pay an extra 1.5 from normal for 30 points? I don't really know. So I like defensive contributions. Like, you should get rewarded. They are very different. And I'll touch on these bits at the bottom in a minute. Qualifying for global leagues, I didn't qualify for top 1% or top 10% this season. I had a terrible season last season. As many people know, I was out of work for a long period of time. It really affected me and my family, and therefore I lost real concentration. I wasn't in part of the Man On pod at the end, really. I did the odd one here and there, just had stuff to do. So yeah, I'm not in them. Don't care. We'll leave the red cross. Double chips, I'm not that bothered. It's meant I've got a pod out of it to do a chip strategy for the first 19 at least, or 2 pods then, because I'll do one for the season, the games after. But I don't think we needed them. Genuinely don't think we needed double chips. I think that's a really lazy added extra, making it far too easy for people. That's their plan. Get more engagement, isn't it? Yeah, don't care. Don't say it's a bad thing. Don't think it's a great thing. So it gets the shruggy man. Changes to bonus points. Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Bonus points, I think, as I've put at the bottom here, look a lot better for goalkeepers, especially for pen saves. So that's great. I think Craig mentioned it previously. There was a game with 2 pen saves, and then a striker came on, scored, and he got full bonus. What about the keeper that saved 2 pens? Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad that's happening. Goal line clearances. They were 3 bonus points only. When I say BPS, it's the combination of BPS to actually get the bonus points, as a top added up total. But they were only worth 3. Now they're worth 9. I think they were underdoing them just a little bit, goal line clearances. But then, again, if you look at the player list, and you can find it on Twitter, I'm sure, of the goal line clearances, the most a defender had last year was 3, actually. And there's no big, maybe Kukurea was up there. But otherwise, it's kind of like, well, I don't think it doesn't happen that frequently. So, again, it is what it is. Penalties. So they will give any player now 12 points. It used to be by position, but now it's just an overall. You score a penalty, you're getting 12 points added. Successful tackles. So 2 points for each tackle, which is great for your CDMs and your defenders. So we'll see how that goes there. I don't think it's too bad at all. Sorry, something was pinging off. I had to just double check that. I had to interrupt a pod for that. That's embarrassing, but yeah, what can I do? Cool. AFCON. No. Absolutely ridiculous to give us 5 transfers for AFCON changes. It's the most unnecessary added incentive to us we've ever had in FPL, if I'm honest. I think they were clutching at straws. Think about, I mean, it lists 4 players there that are going to be away. Oh, no, it doesn't. It lists 2 of them, actually, because Saka's obviously, Saka, I can't really tell, it's blurry. But let's be fair. Aït-Nouri, Salah, Bumo, Jackson, Ismail Sarr, Aït-Nouri. I'm doing pretty well there. Vissa, that's 7. Let's say that in all reality, at a given point, when it comes to AFCON, you're going to have, let's say Salah, and a lot of people will. Bumo, maybe. He's gone to United now, so I think that's less. Vissa, again, I don't like Brentford this year, especially without Bumo. So if he goes to Tottenham, he's showing, like, will people have Vissa? Aït-Nouri, yeah, possibly, definitely. Ismail Sarr, yeah, maybe if he depends on his price. Be fair. Most people will have 2 to 3 max AFCON players when this comes round. Why do we need 5 transfers? It's pointless. You're just giving people extra. So if you're really, really clever, you're getting 5 free transfers for no reason. You could just maximize. You could roll 5 transfers. You could literally roll 4 or 5 transfers, make them in one swoop. Next AFCON comes around, bang, here's 5 more. Change half your team again. Genuinely, it's stupid, and I'm annoyed about it, as you can tell. Forget about it. Anyway, the fixtures here are on the page 1 to 19. That's what we're focusing on today because that's the first half of your first chips. I'm leaving this here really as I might go back to it for reference every now and then, or just so you can pause the video and take a little look. I don't know where I pulled this FDR from. If you look at this and think, well, that's my FDR, I'm sorry I didn't credit you. I was making content. It was late. I forgot where I pulled it from. My apologies. But there's your first 19 fixtures. Very, very good. And some nice fixtures in there as well early on, I think, to be fair. Wildcard. So I think the wildcard this year could be between 9 and 12. So why am I saying 9 and 12? I've seen people pull wildcards early, like genuinely game week 4, game week 5. I've certainly been responsible for pulling it on a game week 4. I think did it last season. I'm kind of, this is why I've done this pod as well for my own strategy this year. I think I need to be more careful with my chips, and you know, when this announcement came of more chips, I think Craig messaged and laughed and said, look, more chips for you to waste, or potentially what are you going to do now with even more, because I never get them right. Something I really want to get right this year is the chip usage. So plenty of data built up between, you know, you're halfway through that first, let's say, set of fixtures. You've got a significant fixture swing for Man City in game week 13, Liverpool game week 13, but Arsenal, Chelsea are 9 and Bournemouth are 12. So some big teams there with a significant fixture swing. So there's great fixtures from 9 to 11 for Arsenal. They've got Palace at home, Burnley and Sunderland away. Don't think you can get much better than that. You're going to have 3 Arsenal players. Between 9 and 12, we've got Sunderland at home, Tottenham away, Wolves at home, Burnley away. Again, you're having 3 Chelsea players. There's 6 players straight away from a game week 9 wildcard. Bournemouth, between 12 and 14, have got West Ham at home, Sunderland away, Everton at home. Bournemouth are doing as well as they did last season. Again, you're looking at Semenyo, for instance, you know, Evan Nilsson, great players there. You're going to have them for that run. Man City between 13 and 19, 13 and 19, that's a big one. I've got, in fact, 13 and 19, a big one. They've got Leeds at home, Fulham away, Sunderland home, Palace away, West Ham home, Forest and Sunderland away. They're back to playing Sunderland again. So you've got Sunderland twice in very quick succession there. So you've already got 3 Arsenal, 3 Chelsea, probably 3 Man City, 2 Bournemouth. Like, you're filling it out like this. I'm creating it for you here. That is the kind of what I would be looking at doing on that fixture swing. So whether you pull it on 9 and get the Arsenal Chelsea guys, or whether you just wait a little bit because your team's got Arsenal Chelsea already, and yet you kind of pull it around the 12 mark and get your Bournemouth, Man City in, etc. I don't know. But the other teams around then, Brighton in game week 10 onwards have got Leeds at home, Palace away, Brentford at home, Forest away, Villa at home, West Ham at home. Okay, not terrible. Again, so it depends how Brighton are playing, but you could shut them in. Fulham from game week 10. So again, you've got to see how these teams are playing. But Wolves at home, Everton away, Sunderland home, and West Ham away. Don't hate that run of 4 for Fulham. You've got to think on a wild card, you want your kind of people who are your high impact players, your people are, your Fodens, your Haalands, etc. But you need to surround it with the supporting cast. And if Fulham are doing well, you've got like the likes of kind of Smith Rowe and things like that. If they're playing well this year, he might well be somebody who's quite low. So stick him in. You need to make those points up. Now, West Ham. I'm not a big fan of West Ham. I don't think they'll have a great season in reality, but they've got good run from 9 onwards. Leeds away, Newcastle home is not good. Burnley at home and Bournemouth away, tricky. It was struggling around that area, as you can appreciate. I thought, well, maybe if you just want one West Ham player in, maybe it's time for Bowen, but not as a forward. And people who are complaining, Bowen's a forward. I think he will be this year because I don't see what else they've got up top apart from Fulcrook. So, yeah, not much you can do about that. Game week 19. Is that waiting too long to pull your wild card? Because you're about to get another one. So is that too long? But there are huge fixtures. Liverpool versus, and this is why, and it's possibly free hit territory, and we'll come on to that. But game week 19, there is some good runs as well. And game week 19 in particular has some great fixtures. Liverpool Leeds, Man City Sunderland, United Wolves, Newcastle Burnley, Forest Everton, Brighton West Ham, and Arsenal Villa. So some pretty good fixtures there. You might want one from Arsenal, one from Villa. You might want one from Brighton only. But, you're looking at Man City, Man United, Newcastle players there, and Liverpool, obviously. So it's probably waiting too long, and that's more free hit territory, which we'll come on to in a minute. Bench boost. The art of relying on your absolute shite fodder from teams like West Ham, Everton, and newly promoted to actually do something. Usually found in players costing 4 to 5 million only. That is exactly how I got the bench boost. I made that up, by the way. That's no ChatGPT. That's not come from anybody. That's come from this mind. Okay? That's how I feel about the bench boost. I don't think I ever get it right. Game week 1 bench boost. Everybody's doing it, picking their nose and chewing it. Bore off, you sheep. Why? Why are you doing bench boost game week 1? You have no idea of the teams. You have no idea of any data, how anybody's playing. It's just ridiculous. You're using it because you don't know when else to use it. I've been there and done that a few times. It's never worked for me. So you know what? You go game week 1. I'm not doing it. You could set your team perfectly, I guess. You could pick a team of 11 and then 3 subs who you think, well, actually, do you know what? They played all last season. They look like they'll play based on past data. That's fine. You do you. Game week 6. So game week 6, you've got Everton. And again, read the first line. It's the art of relying on absolute shite fodder. So your bench boost isn't going to consist of your Salah, your Haaland, Vert, bloody, I don't know, the big players. It's going to consist of shite fodder in reality. People are always normally on your bench. So I've gone with that in terms of the fixtures. So game week 6, Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth, Leeds, Forest, Sunderland, Spurs, Wolves, Villa, Fulham. Like, that's the kind of people you're going to have on the bench. You can pick out Forest player there against Sunderland, Spurs against Wolves, Bergvall, for instance. I can't imagine he'll cost much, but I think he'll have a good season and, maybe he'll do something. That's what you've got to think. Game week 10. Now, game week 10, you can set it up using the wild card in game week 9. So referring back to what I was thinking, and you've got Brighton, Leeds, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Wolves, Sunderland, Everton. So, yeah, Sunderland, Everton, the reverse fixture. I think Everton are a bad team. Sunderland, I don't think will do terribly. They could score against Everton. So, again, it's one of those where if I'm pulling the card in Wildcard in game week 9, I'm looking at setting it up to use in potentially 10. Game week 13, the top teams have some great fixtures. See my Wildcard. So actually, if you get the right guys from the supporting cast, you could get big points because your big boys look like they'll do well, but your supporting cast on your bench boost, fine. Villa have got Wolves. Bournemouth have got Sunderland. Brentford versus Burnley. Forest versus Brighton. That could be a bit of a high-scoring game, for instance. So fill it up with your kind of supporting cast, supporting those big boys, and actually you might pull it off. Game week 16, the same as the above, but the supporting cast for them are Villa and West Ham, Brentford versus Leeds, Fulham versus Burnley, and Spurs versus Forest. So again, not bad. And then game week 18, you've kind of got Burnley v Everton, Fulham v West Ham, Leeds, Sunderland could be nice, Spurs, Palace, Brentford, Bournemouth. So again, I'm just giving you those kind of fixtures of the supporting cast that people usually find on their bench to do a bench boost. There's a lot of options. So there you go. Very simple slide on the bench boost because quite frankly, I suck at playing it and never get it right. I'd like to say I'll get it right this year. It's how your players perform on the day. You could have a bench boost with Salah, Haaland, and bloody Bruno Fernandes in it. If they don't turn up on the day, your bench boost is ruined. Might have been the perfect time to play it. It's all data reliant. So, free hit. So you might look at this and go, well, you've just put the game week 19 fixtures. But I haven't. I've put the game week 4 fixture in and then game week 10 to 19 because legitimately the free hit could be played in any one of these games. Now, free hit, we usually get one free hit a year. So we normally wait for our doubles. We wait for our cup games, our winter fixtures, postponements, things like that. This year, there's a lot of good fixtures early on that you could maximize it. So I said, if you don't wildcard in the game weeks I've already mentioned, then they're also great to free hit or use a free hit on the lesser teams against the grain and gain maximum points. So what I mean by that is, yeah, usually people free hit and set their team up with all Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, blah, blah. You could use your free hit slightly different. You could go with potentially smaller teams, past like what I mentioned just now in the wild card, I guess. And you can fill it up with people from the lesser teams. And I don't mean bottom 3. I'm talking mid-table, Brentford, Brighton, for instance. I don't know how Newcastle will do this year, but, not the top boys. Go against the grain. If 3 of those are playing like Sunderland, Leeds, Everton, go wild. But game week 4, you could put you've got Palace, Sunderland, Fulham, Leeds, Liverpool, Newcastle, Spurs. That's kind of in game week 4 is a really, really good. Those fixtures there. Palace have got Sunderland, Fulham have got Leeds, Liverpool have got Burnley, Newcastle have got Wolves, Spurs have got West Ham. So game week 4 is a nice time to play a free hit for the fixtures. Personally, I think game week 4 is too early. So game week 10 to 19, a general case can be made for any of them, depending on your purpose for the chip. Like you have got some standout fixtures from game week 10 to game week 19 to pull a free hit. Game week 14, I think, is one. Chelsea got Leeds, Palace have got Burnley, Bournemouth have got Everton, Liverpool have got Sunderland, United have got West Ham. I really like game week 14. Game week 17, 18, if you wanted to do that mix up, so maybe a couple of the big boys, but then the lesser teams. So game week 17 and 18. Bournemouth have got Burnley, Brighton have got Sunderland, Crystal Palace have got Leeds, Man City have got West Ham. So, you get your 3 Man City, but maybe then 1 or 2 from Crystal Palace, 1 or 2 from Brighton. It's a free hit. Your team's being reverted, so it doesn't really matter. It's 1 week, but you're targeting. Likewise, game week 18. Burnley and Everton are a big fixture. In reality, I think they could be a high-scoring one. But Fulham have got West Ham, Leeds have got Sunderland, Liverpool have got Wolves. So you could fill up with your 3 Liverpool, supporting cast of a couple of Leeds and Sunderland, maybe Fulham against West Ham, Everton against Burnley. So again, you're mixing it up. That's the idea behind the free hit. Now, game week 19, as I said, it might be too late for your wild card. Fair. So game week 19 looks perfect for a free hit. Genuinely, if you want to go I'm going all out on the big boys for my free hit. Liverpool versus Leeds, Man City against Sunderland, United versus Wolves, Newcastle, Burnley, Forest, Everton, Brighton, West Ham. Massive. Really good week. Game week 19 for your free hit. But is it too late? Do you panic? Do you think, oh God, people have played it and I'm, a couple of 100 points behind, and you do it? Personally, I've done that Jet Planet FPL, say play your own game, 100%. I've often looked at people and thought, oh, I'm really behind. I need to do something to catch up. Play a chip. It normally gets you more points. But if you don't play at the right time, it can be detrimental. So triple captain, I am not reading every single one of them out, but literally they are your game week 1 to 19 fixtures really for the triple captain. Personally, for me, you're looking at ones where there's more than one game, because not only do you want to put your triple captain, but you want a nice vice backup. For any reason, let's say you put it on game week 16, Arsenal versus Wolves, Chelsea versus Everton, Newcastle versus Sunderland. Let's say I've got it on Saka as my captain, Isak as my vice. In the warm-up, Saka's injured. Pulls a hamstring in the warm-up. So I know then I've got Isak as a backup against Sunderland, and I'm happy with that. I think if you play it in a fixture with in a week without good backup, you're just asking for a bit of trouble. What's the possibilities? I don't know the possibilities of your actual captain getting injured in the warm-up, but hey, we've seen people get injured in warm-ups or not turn up rotation for any reason. All of a sudden, you've got your Haaland coming on for 2 minutes at the end of a game when he's triple captain, and he's going to just ruin everything. So play it on a week where you've got, game week, 11, 10 is a good one. Arsenal, Burnley, Brighton, Leeds, Newcastle, West Ham. Game week 11, Chelsea versus Wolves or Arsenal versus Sunderland. Just make sure you're covered. I think game week 19 is a really nice one again. Now, whereas I don't think the free hit is game week 19 worthy because I think it's too late, same as wildcard. Triple captain, play it whenever. It doesn't really matter. You're not changing your team too much. So game week 19, as I mentioned, you've got Liverpool versus Leeds, Man City, Sunderland, Newcastle, Burnley. Perfect. You're getting a great captain, a great vice, whatever happens. And I think that's, and if both of them don't play, then you are just really unlucky. But you pause it, take that on board. Fantastic. So my plan, subject to change, obviously. That's not subject to contract. We're not selling a house. Subject to change, obviously. I'm looking, and I've gone late. And I keep saying, is it a bit too late? But I'm building data this year and looking and making sure I'm maximizing what I want to do effectively. Wildcarding game week 10, I think. I'm going to have max Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, then a Bournemouth, Villa, Man City, 1 or 2. Like that, I'm going to play around with those teams. But I think game week 10 is when I'm looking at doing the wildcard. Free hit in game week 16. Again, I'm going to be looking at using the Arsenal, Villa, Brentford, Chelsea, Fulham, and Newcastle. I'm going to mix it up a little bit because I don't think I'll have many Brentford, Fulham, and even Newcastle players or Villa really in my team normally. So I'm going to see the data. I've got a long time to look at it, see who's concrete, see who's playing well. It might be that Ollie Watkins is still there and he's banging goal after goal and he's in my team straight away. But you never know. So I'm going to mix it up in game week 16. Bench boost, I think game week 18. So I'm going to concentrate on getting transfers. Anything, between game week 10 and 18 there, I've got 8 game weeks where I can concentrate really on kind of building up the transfers, the people I need in for the bench boost, make sure I've got at least the playing bench, because a lot of people use 4 million fodder. Well, no good for bench boost, is it? And I think we've all been caught by that and having to just play it randomly at one point. And then triple captain. I think triple captain doesn't matter at all. You want to make sure, like I mentioned on the left there, that it's a game. So I've said game week 19, probably a Liverpool captain and a Man City vice. Liverpool against Leeds, Man City versus Sunderland. I think that is and they're at home as well, Liverpool. So I think that's the optimal time to play it. And that's that in reality. Boom. 25 minutes. Very quick one today. Just wanted to go through a bit of the rule changes and what I think. I'm not going to read out word for word the rule changes. It's absolutely pointless. People have probably done it to death already before me. I just wanted to give you an idea of my chip strategy. And give you some food for thought by laying it all out in front of you, where you can pause the video, have a little look yourself as well. Thank you. Look, the love of the channel recently has been amazing. It's grown over 60, 70 subscribers in about a week. which for me is amazing. I don't get paid for doing this. I do it for fun. I do it for the love. I do it for you guys. And I really appreciate that you're commenting, you're interacting, you're messaging me and telling me that you really enjoyed it. My Dream Team video has got over 600 views at the moment, which I never thought possible. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Please keep it up. I'm as interactive as I can be. And thank you. Speak to you soon.